Hey guys, welcome back to Girl Diaries, formerly known as Me, Myself and I. I don't even know how I feel about the new name, but I didn't even like the old name, so what can we do? I think I just overthink too much. Happy New Year, guys. I have not been online for like 3 weeks. The new aim of 2025 is to post every single week. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm here to tell you, as a woman, never lose yourself. Never ever lose yourself. Okay? Please build confidence. Build self-love in yourself this year. You know, I actually deeped it the other day that it's actually crazy, right? Because I don't look that much different as to when I was painfully insecure. I just find it shocking of how, like, I hate to say this, but genuinely I felt ugly. Like, I actually cannot believe, that's the thing. That is actually the power of getting to the point of self-loving, self-confidence, feeling good. No one can tell you anything about yourself, because now I don't even recognize, I can't comprehend that I was ever that insecure, the things I felt about myself, that's actually how I felt about myself. Like, I could actually gaslight myself at times because I'm in that much disbelief. And that is the power of growth. Like, that's actually crazy. It's actually the fact that people's words actually, I wouldn't say it was the root of my insecurity, but it kind of was at the same time. And now, if someone says something to me, I'm just like, that doesn't bother me one bit. If anything, I feel sorry for you. Like, it's projection, bro. You have problems, okay? Like, it's like slight empowerment when someone says something to me now. Like, the change. And that's why in 2025, us women, we self-loving, working on yourself, self-investment is the key. I can't even lie. My confidence is absolutely crazy. I have always been in my masculine energy because I haven't had like a very present dad. So with that, you become very masculine. And for me, I don't even think I rated myself that much when I was insecure, but I actually had to deep it that I actually am that girl. Like, I'm sick. I've done so many things, because struggle like actually builds you. And remember one thing, comparison is the thief of joy. You will never be like someone else. You don't need to be like someone else. You only need to be the best version of yourself. You are only in competition with yourself. I am in competition with myself. Okay. When I look back to myself from January last year, I feel so good about myself right now. I'm like, yes, I progressed. I'm amazing. I was even good back then, but I'm like, wow, right now. So I'm 25 now. I'm going to be 26 in 6 months, and actually thinking about my younger self and thinking, oh my God, my younger self will be so happy. And you know, it's actually mad, because when I actually was younger, I actually used to like think about how I would be when I was older, and I always thought, yeah, I'm gonna be this beautiful, like, trendy girl. And you know what? I am that girl. Like, probably not the way I envisioned, because, you know, obviously back in them times things are very different. But I just know for a fact, and it's so funny because I visualized this so many times. Like, I have actually thought back to memories of when I was like a kid in primary school, because my memory is crazy. I can actually remember times where I imagined myself in the future. So I take myself back to that point, and I think about, like, rather than imagining what I was imagining back then, I basically imagine me now, and I literally feel like that girl again, that little girl, and I'm like, oh my God, I would actually feel so happy, and I feel so relieved, and I wouldn't even be sad. Okay, maybe I would have felt better about my insecurities, because I would have thought, oh, it's okay, I'm gonna look and feel like that one day. But yeah, no, my childhood, she healed. Real healed. I feel like a lot of things come into self-love. Your environment is a big factor. Who is like around you, what you're putting inside your body, and also energy exchange. I feel like people just really underestimate these things. I'm so happy I've got to this stage in my life where now I'm really choosing my friends, and like, I was gonna say friends and family, but you don't really choose your family, but you know, you can still choose how you are around them. Like, you know, your parents always say choose your friends wisely, and oh my God, I am taking that. Like, I ain't even taking that with a pinch of salt no more. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're young, you just don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Like, but to be fair, how am I going to choose my friends in like year 5? Like, come on now. I just want friends. Everyone just wants friends. You don't want to be lonely. Honestly, my best friend, like, she sets the bar so high. I'm so sorry. I could not accept less. Okay. Like, I just couldn't accept anything near below that, right? And I'm so glad, like, even if me and her, God forbid, fell out, even though I don't think we would, but if we did, I could never accept like a bottom tier friend. I just could not, because she's shown me that, you know, healthy real friendships exist. I don't need to, even though it's not like I was ever accepting bottom tier friendships anyway, but I just don't think I was realizing it. Do you know what I mean? And you know what I love? Yeah, with all of my friends, if we have a problem, we deal with it so healthy. And that's one thing I would say, guys. If you struggle with confrontation, and I feel like, yes, with self-loving and stuff, really work on yourself, work on the things you're not that good at. Because with me, it's not like I'm not a confrontational person. Like, if you square up to me, I'm going to tell you what, I'm that type of girl. But at the same time, I don't always start things. Like, you know, as well with my friends, yeah, I don't like bringing stuff up. Like, I actually feel bad to bring stuff up. That's always been the person I am. Now I'm not like that, but even up until last year I was still kind of like that, like struggling to address things to my friends. But if you're like a random person, I have no issue of telling you whatever. I do struggle with anxiety, so that could be why that is the case with my friends. Like I'm saying, like, obviously recognize your bad behaviors, your flaws, and work on them, because this is another way of working on yourself, becoming better, and it builds confidence. You feel good that you are this person and you're away from the person you was before, because all these little things you change just makes you better. But yeah, so obviously with me, I've really been practicing the whole like addressing things no matter how small or big they are, because sometimes I feel like I gaslight myself and it's a small thing. And the thing is, I overthink, but my friends know I am an overthinker and I'm anxious, and they accept me for how I am. So why am I shying away from them and acting like they're going to judge me because of this? And my friends are very understanding. They never make me feel stupid for the things I feel. And what I've actually realized with communicating and talking is that my friends are actually a lot like me in certain ways, so there's no need for me to be ashamed and stuff. And if your friends do make you feel like that, they are not your friends, okay? They're not your people. Your people will understand you, okay? Now obviously I address everything, like any little thing, right? And it's good, because when you do that, you don't have animosity built to your friends, because that's what happens. You have this little animosity towards your friends, and every little thing they do will piss you off, and you literally feel like you hate this person. Like, that's how you start feeling. Everything starts feeling just overwhelmingly mad, because you're not addressing the things, and slowly this person is painted out to be someone else that they're not. This is actually a good way to learn to stand up for yourself in situations and know how to deal with situations, because with your friends, if they are your true friends, their reactions are never going to be extremely bad when you are addressing things, and it's just the way of addressing it, right? Because I feel like now when there's people where they're like, I feel like they're kind of doing me a bit wrong, I feel like, yeah, I can be blunt with them. I can give them that energy back, because these changes build that confidence for me to stand up for yourself, and that will be the same for you. Sometimes with people, I have felt bad for like making them upset, or when I stick it on them. But then I'm like, these people don't even feel bad when they do me the way they do me. Like, they really don't. Like, they don't. It's like with a guy, yeah. Like with a guy, he will do so many things and you will leave him, and then he'll be sad, and then you'll feel bad that he's sad, but he didn't feel bad when he was doing you wrong. Always remember that. That's even like your friends. They didn't feel bad when they were doing you wrong. Well, unless, like, obviously there can be misunderstandings as well. The biggest advice I can give though for this year is get a notebook or write things on your notes. I've been writing things on my notes for a good couple of years, but I have moved on to writing in a book this year. I would say try out both. Personally, my iPhone worked very well for me when I did use it, but I think, I don't know, maybe it's my frontal lobe. I just need a book now, right? So honestly, I would say write everything out. Write your thoughts out, especially if you're someone that gets super overwhelmed and you have really bad anxiety. Like my therapist, oh my God, this woman saved me. And also, guys, trust me, don't ever be afraid to go back to therapy, because I first went to therapy when I was 18. I haven't been since, and for so many years I felt like, oh, like I don't think I need to go back, because what more am I really going to learn? Like, I already kind of done the whole process. Because in the UK, you can get free talking therapies through the NHS, and it's like 6 to 8 weeks, and it's kind of like a course kind of thing. It's like tailored a certain way, and I knew like I'm going to be doing that same thing again, but it actually was very beneficial, because now I'm 25 and I don't think you realize the changes within yourself. Honestly, it was actually life-changing, like my therapy this time round. Like even last time it was so life-changing. But yeah, honestly, I'd say, especially if you're from the UK, consider talking therapies, because it is so good. Like, if you guys want me to talk more about that, I will discuss it, like how it works and stuff. But yeah, honestly, my therapist has got me to write down a lot of things, because I get like overwhelming thoughts. Like, I was literally telling her, like when I was going through so many problems last year, it literally felt like I was drowning in the sea. Basically, I'm trying to get back up, but I can't, because the pressure of the water is just pushing me down. And that's how I felt with my problems. I couldn't get above them, because another one would just come and it will get heavier and it will just push down on me, and I couldn't just fix anything. Like, everything was so overwhelming. It was just crazy in my head. Everything's like a disorganized box. Like, basically my room was a depression hole. It was a hot mess, and my brain was like my room. This is literally how I was describing it to people. Writing out all my feelings has helped a lot. Like, you know, even though I'm gonna be so honest, I don't actually like writing for long. Like, it hurts my hand and it puts me off. Like, just, you know, bullet points. Like, for example, if I write, oh, what do I want to change about myself, and then you just put bullet points. But once your thoughts are down on paper, you won't forget them, for one, because that's like a problem, right? With my thoughts, they're there, and then I'll distract myself, forget about them, because it's too overwhelming to deal with, and I can't deal with them all at once, and then I'm gonna forget, and it's just it's just a toxic mess. And then because I'm not dealing with them, they come back again later on. So writing them down is a good idea because you can deal with one thing at a time, however you want to go over it, but at least you're not forgetting it. Honestly, I don't know where I'm going with this episode. I feel like it's all over the place. But you know what I will talk about, which kind of does relate to like friendships that set the bar high and blah, blah, blah. And how I did mention comparison is the thief of joy. So one of my friends, she basically mentioned to me how she knows she shouldn't do this, but sometimes she just compares like what her ex does compared to like what her guy does now. And you know what? I said to her, do you know what? Like, even though we shouldn't compare, but it's actually very normal. Like, what I've realized, it's so freaking normal. Like, everyone does it. And that's why sometimes, like, even with friendships, you will compare your friends. You will look at certain of your friends. Like, that's the blueprint of what a friend is meant to be like. And then your other friend is like the complete opposite. I don't know, like sometimes like we really do compare, but comparison really is the thief of joy. And sometimes just because someone isn't like that other person or they don't have them traits doesn't mean they aren't a good person. It doesn't mean they're like a fake person. But I will say one thing, when you find people that show you pure, genuine, healthy love and relationships, that is a lesson to you that exists, and you don't need to accept anything unhealthy and toxic. I hope that made sense. But yeah, I can't lie, last year I was pretty depressed. I don't think I even acknowledged I was depressed, and oh my god, I had to get my spark back. Let me tell you how I got my spark back. The first thing I did was I basically made a morning routine, and when I tell you, life-changing. Non-negotiables: shower every morning, make the bed every morning, do my makeup every day. Helpful, so helpful. I always shower at night. Like, no matter how I feel, I always shower at night. But I just wouldn't always shower in the morning because I just felt so like just awful. I wasn't even sleeping. And that's another thing. I've set a bedtime routine, and honestly, it's been the best thing ever. I've just routined everything. Like, it's so good. And it guarantees I'm going to have quality sleep like every night. Because low-key, I was like, oh, should I just have one bedtime for Monday to Friday and a different one for the weekend? Because the weekend I don't work. But then I was like, no, let me just keep it the same because it's better and it keeps me more productive. Because I actually love the morning gym. That's another thing. For this year, like the end of last year, I'm so happy I started waking up, sleeping early and waking up early because it gives me more time to be productive in the day and do things for me. Oh, and that's another thing. Planning my day, key. I've been doing it for 3 years. Amazing. Life-changing. And writing out goals. Like, I've made a vision board. It's actually right there. I write out goals. I've been doing that for like the last year or so. So I write out goals and then I make mini goals and I fit them into my day. That's really helpful. Can't even lie, I know a lot of people are mentioning like they feel like super overwhelmed, like it's a new year and they feel like they need to do this and that, and some people don't even feel like doing it. But honestly, baby steps. That's all you need to do. Baby steps, because baby steps is what leads you. That's what builds progress. Like, I feel like a year is actually a long time. It goes by quick, but it is a long time. It's 12 months. It's 365 days. In a week alone, you can progress. In a month alone, you can progress. So 365 days is a lot of time. And don't look at it as, oh, I have a lot of time to get this goal together. But, you know, baby steps, and don't feel bad if you are doing just baby steps. Don't compare to others. You might look at other people like they're progressing faster, but maybe they started their journey earlier than you. And some people find things easier than others. Like with me, I've always struggled with like diet, like when it comes to like the gym and stuff and fitness. But with gym, I've always found it easy. Like, I actually like it. I actually enjoy it. But there's a lot of people, they will struggle with either one. They'll struggle with both. I feel like always be kind to yourself. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Be understanding. Love yourself the way you would love the love of your life, because you should be the love of your life. You can't love someone until you love yourself wholeheartedly, like genuinely. You just can't. And you know what? Let me even go into this, because people don't go into this. They just love to say that line and just keep it moving. What I've realized, and what that is to me, is that when you don't love yourself and you love others, you will always love others more than you love yourself. Because you don't even love yourself. So you will always accept things that you shouldn't accept, and then you'll resent people, and then you'll dislike people. And you know what? Sometimes people are actually not intentionally doing you wrong. Obviously, sometimes they are, and they're taking advantage, but also sometimes they're actually not. And they are ruining your outlook on love and life. And this is why you have to love yourself, because even if you don't really like confrontation, like standing up for yourself, but at least you will shy away from that. You'll find a way to remove yourself from that situation, because you won't accept less than that. And guys, always aim high and be delusional. And please don't listen to people that tell you you aim high. You know, honestly, I was so tired of people saying that to me. Now, I don't have anyone saying that to me. Everyone is just saying to me, you know, that's good for you, Miri. Like, that's so good for you. Like, you know what? That honestly sounded so fake. Like, that actually sounds concerning the way I just said it. But no, like, they'll say to me, like, oh, I'm happy for you, sis. Like, that's so good. Like, I know you can do it. And no, honestly, some of my friends are so cute. Yeah, like they've literally said to me, like, oh, one thing I like about you, they're like, you're always showing us better in life and you're always aiming high. And I'm like, you guys are so cute. And I always told them this can be you guys too. Anything is possible in life. You have to see it as possible. You can't view it as impossible. And oh my God, mindset and perception is everything. Genuinely will save you or kill you. And this really comes back to the first point of like how I cannot fathom that I actually used to look in the mirror and think I was ugly. I can't fathom that I was ever that girl, because now my mindset and perception is so freaking different. And can I just say, if you're a woman watching this video, please get your driving license. Please forget the car. It doesn't matter about the car. The car will come later. Get your license. First of all, driving gives you independence and it gives you confidence. It's another thing you can do for yourself. And it's that feeling of knowing you can just go. If you want to go somewhere, you can go. You don't need to rely on a man or anyone to do anything for you. You don't need to rely on the buses and the train. And if you're able to do it now, you have the time, do it. I'm always telling people to do it. If you're from the UK, my biggest advice to you would be find an instructor. Once you find an instructor, book your theory for like 3 to 4 months time. But I know now the tests are just a mess, so it might be 6 months, but at least give it minimum 3 months. While you're doing your lessons, revise your theory at the same time. Some people will say not to do this, but the reason why this was really good for me was because I understood it more. Because while I'm learning to drive, I'm seeing the signs and it was just way easier to learn that way. I feel like you understand your theory a lot better. I feel like before that, you're just memorizing an exam, basically. You're just memorizing pointless information. That's how it feels. But once you're driving at the same time, or at least if you have some understanding of the road, this makes sense. This, like, you're going to remember, you're going to retain that information. And then of course, if you fail, it's okay. Try again. And then even with your practical, try again. And that's my biggest advice with driving. Do not give up. If you feel like I'm not feeling this instructor, change the instructor. I'm telling you guys, I went through so many instructors, right? And you know what, the last time because I was very on and off with learning to drive, and the last time I was like, I'm not going to give up no matter what. And that was the best thing I ever done, because finally I got my freaking license and I got my car, like literally the next day, which I never thought would happen. But that is the power of putting your mind solely onto it. If you ever told me in any of my lifetime that I was going to pass and get my car the next day, I would have never ever believed that. I think after a certain point I would have, because my mindset and perception changed. But genuinely, if you truly believe it, it's going to happen. I was like tunnel vision towards that license. I was tunnel vision on getting the car. And you know what is so crazy and so funny? Guys, on my 2024 vision board, right, I made it on, because I actually made it late. I made it on the 16th of January last year, right? I put it on my lock screen. This year I have a physical one, which I recommend more. If you want to have one on your lock screen as well, cool. But physical one, 10/10. So I had a picture on there of a girl that had a pass certificate from the UK and she was sitting in her new car. Guys, 2 weeks later, I passed my test and the next day I get the same car as this girl. Do not tell me vision boards don't work, because they do. Vision boards, prayer, hard work, focus, all of those things work. That was the craziest thing ever. And that was just so funny. Like, honestly, I actually lived out a lot of my dreams last year, and I'm so grateful to the power of positivity, a good mind, perseverance, and a vision board. And the reason why I say perseverance is because I've told you guys in this episode that I was depressed and I was struggling and I was bedrotting, but I also knew there was light at the end of the tunnel. And there were certain days I would try to do something, but I also got just super, a hot mess. The thing is, at the end of the day, I will say one thing: I was the one that chose to go to therapy. No one told me to go to therapy. No one suggested that to me. I did that. I still took the steps to become better because I felt like I couldn't take charge of my situation. I felt out of control, which I don't like. So that's another thing. Like, no matter how far you come, because I had actually come really far in life, like in terms of, my self-worth, my self-confidence, all those things. But no matter how far you come in life, sometimes life really can come and break you. Like, that's literally what happened. And I honestly, I always said I don't think I could ever be depressed again unless it was like pregnancy postpartum, because the way my therapy was and the way I changed my life when I was 18, I didn't think I could ever become that way again. But boy, no, I spoke too soon, because life situations, adulting, it can do that for you. But yeah, if you haven't made your vision board yet, make it. It's not too late. Go on free prints. If you don't have friends to make it with, make it on your own. And oh my god, guys, please, let's just talk about something real quick, right? So I hadn't actually given vision boards a thought, right? And one of my friends, she sent me like a TikTok and was like, oh my god, we should so do this. I was like, yeah, come, I'm on it, right? Now, my friend, can't lie, she had a lot going on, and I got the vibe like she wasn't going to do it, right? And she invited one of her other friends, and I was just like, I can't lie, like, I'm going to do it with or without these people, bro. I'll be so real. Like, yes, it would be lovely and wholesome and cute for us to do it together, but as far as I'm concerned, the vision board is for me. It's for you. So do the vision board on your own. Don't wait on anyone in life, and that's for anything. And I'm so glad I done my board, because in the end, I ended up doing my board with someone else. But even if this other girl didn't pop up, best believe I would have done the board anyway. And this is no shade to my friends, because obviously they had things going on, life happens, but your life doesn't have to stop just because everyone else's. Because that was another thing, right? But two of my friends, they were going to meet up to do boards, and I couldn't make it that day, and I said to them, you know what, you guys go ahead and do your boards, because I don't want to stop you guys from doing it when this is the one day they can both do it, because they had a lot going on. I didn't. I just simply had work. That's all it really was. It just didn't feel like it was fair for me to, my camera died, but yeah, it just didn't seem fair to take that opportunity away from them. But yeah, that's my biggest tip, guys. Don't wait on anyone in life. Do everything that you want to do, even if that means you go to Winter Wonderland on your own. Do it, because you only live one life. Like, you are really the pilot of your life. It might sound a bit wet, but trust me, someone said it to me a very, very long time ago, and I've never ever forgot it, because it's true.